I'm Dr. Maureen Bell. I come from the University of Wollongong, which is in Australia. So at this conference, I'm presenting a workshop tomorrow, I think, on peer observation of teaching.
My name is Dr. Gesiko von Lübke. I'm coming from Germany, and my subject here on the conference is to present the wisdom and the knowledge of global civil society projects as, I would say, islands of the future.
My name is Yumi Kimura. I'm from Japan, Kyoto University. My major is nutrition, and I'm going to talk about the evaluation of food diversity in the elderly people in the community.
I am K.C. Jose. I am from Kerala, South India. The creative university concept is quite appealing to me because I thought creativity and innovation is going to be the buzzword of the 21st century.
My name is Deborah Young, and I'm come from Naropa University from Boulder, Colorado. I presented with two Bhutanese today, Karma Gaufeld in the morning, about how counseling and teacher education are actually interrelated.
Hello, my name is Dorje Tinle, and I am the Director of Research and External Relations in the Royal University of Bhutan. And I feel very privileged to be organizing the third International Creative University Network Conference here in the Royal University of Bhutan. There are over 100 participants in this conference, including about 57 from different universities from around the world, and about 30-40 from colleges and institutions within Bhutan.
We are so happy that you, in the second conference in Philipp Marburg University in Marburg, Germany, decided that the third International Creative Universities Network Conference should happen here in the Royal University of Bhutan, in Bhutan. The spirit of this conference is that all those who came here and who are here believe that the world can be different.
I am truly humbled in the presence of such a distinguished gathering, a gathering consisting of highly eminent educationists from Bhutan and other countries that have already made admirable contributions to education and universities. I am confident that we will receive advice and guidance that will take us on the right path. Bhutan has a forward-looking development paradigm that is gross national happiness, or GNH. To the best of our knowledge, GNH covers all aspects of what peace-loving human beings desire and should pursue in life. The Bhutanese are a religious people, but even when it comes to religion, in Buddhism, one seeks refuge and calls for dialogue regarding its beliefs and practices. And this enhances deeper understanding, interconnectedness, and ultimately satisfaction and happiness.
It is not possible that we come here by accident. Not possible. The winds of karma has blown us together here. When we are here, we could generate the ideas for change, the change that we want, the change that we wish. And that change has to enhance greater well-being and happiness for all beings. I hope, as I was speaking to many of our international participants, that you would explore Bhutan and experience Bhutan outside of the conference and see whether there is any happiness that you can find. For the Bhutanese, I hope because of your interaction with the international participants, this will give you a new perspective to look to Bhutan and the life that we lead through their eyes.
This conference is the third, but surely not the last of our Creative University Network created in 2012, together with our colleague Michael Peters. We started this iGNHaS initiative as a network of colleagues interested in the notion of engagement, of change, of organizational and institutional learning. So this positive resonance in the field of interdisciplinary academic research, as well as of change agents and action researchers, showed that the time is right to question given paradigms and to go for a new developmental agenda proposed. And we all want to contribute to this new vision of a developmental paradigm promoted by Bhutan to the United Nations as a new and path-creating potential for economies, universities, and societies.
Creating an enlightened society in some ways has equivalence to educating for GNH. Way back in late 1970s, our fourth king, then the king, attended a meeting in Havana, Cuba, and he was back coming through Bombay. And as he arrived, he was asked about Bhutan's GDP. So it is then that he said, in Bhutan, we consider gross national happiness to be more important than GDP. The meaning of GNH is very profound. The happiness itself is profound. All beings seek happiness.
iGNH, I think, in Bhutan is very much lived, and there's a very kind of intimate understanding of it in people. But the linkage to the policy level and to the research and the understanding of how that shapes the development of the country may not be coming off their tongues. But because the country is going through a period of quite rapid social and economic transition, I think it becomes important for everybody to understand what are the implications for themselves and their families, and how is their government, and by extension they themselves, how are they going to shape it? And I think that's particularly relevant as Bhutan has just entered into a democracy, and people will be voting and making decisions on policies. So I think for common people to understand what is GNH for them, how does a policy decision about transportation or cars, the import of cars, or a policy about whether people should be walking more rather than driving, how do those affect their lives?
We want to bring together all the different streams of interdisciplinary and as well practitioner change debates on the question how change is possible in our time and how paradigm shifts become possible.
We have seen structural reforms, as we all know, but what we probably have not seen enough of is a reinvention, really, or a reshaping or regeneration of the essence and of the idea of the university. So it's not only kind of serving the needs of largely dysfunctional institutions in society, but really putting the students, the learners, into the driver's seat of renewing societal institutions from the ground. We basically are running our civilizations with a set of institutions of living and working together that's hitting the wall, and that is inviting us to reinvent the core institutions of business, of government, of politics, of democracy, and of course of education.
creativity requires us to go beyond the limits of what we already know so that we can connect with each other and the planet in ways that are not already evident how to do that.
And what I want to do with this workshop is to overcome fragmentation in teaching. That means we try to explore and co-create a holistic teaching approach, which includes nature, going out to nature and learning, giving some little impulses.
Teachers' gender has never been talked about, at least in Bhutan. So this presentation, I hope, will bring a lot of awareness about the gender sensitivity within the classroom.
I think a lot of higher education, universities, research, for example, is rated on a number of peer-reviewed publications in top journals, and what that often leads to is a kind of direction of scientific inquiry which becomes narrower and narrower and more specialized, and people are afraid to kind of step outside of that box and actually research something that is not, going to lead to a publication in a high-impact journal.
We have presented about the civil society academic platform for well-being sustainability between NGO and Chulalongkorn University in Thailand, which is to facilitate dialogues and also facilitate different networks.
Youth unemployment is a big issue in Bhutan and almost all around the world, and I'm trying to find out how generic skills can help towards employability.
Since this conference is about a new kind of university that can evolve, I think that the body can play a major role in getting higher knowledge. It's not just the mind that is involved in knowledge production, but also the body.
I'm using the concept of storytelling, and what I want to achieve with that is to make people more aware, more responsible about what they're actually doing while they're managing, to get a greater worldview, but also to be a kind of social sustainability, but also ecological sustainability.
Even at UN level, there's notions and comments of Ban Ki-moon said that this old model is broken and we really need to reflect on global challenges. We have to reflect on crisis, and business as usual is not what works out anymore, and we really have to go for developmental strategies for a healthy planet and for new ways of creating the future. And we'll find as well already examples where prototypes are created to go beyond GDP, to go beyond just wealth creation, and reflect on institutional learning in cross-sector innovation to really raise new economic models, new organizational structures, or as well new economic indicators, thinking about the transformation of the self and to question their own values, because only this will open up for change.
Learning from the future as it emerges. Learning by sensing and actualizing emerging future possibilities. And while learning by reflecting on the past is mainly kind of centering and revolving around your reflective capacities that reside above your neck, sensing and actualizing emerging future possibility requires you to, in addition to this, also access other sources of knowing. The knowing of the heart, and the knowing kind of something that I call kind of the open heart, and the knowing of our deeper sense of who we really are.
Any excellent scholar or researcher or scientist can only be, I think, enhanced by a greater level of self-knowledge of themselves. But is it not possible that we can design education and academic institutions so it deliberately cultivates that coming together of the inner and the outer? And can we produce scientists and researchers who are not only brilliant minds and great technically in their own fields, but also have a deep understanding of themselves and their place in society? And from that, it inspires and enhances what they contribute in their own field.
Every seed that is planted will grow when the conditions are right. The ideas that we share to building a better world will eventually work.
So we do hope that our connectedness has been growing, and I'm very sure that has been growing over here, that we have been able to bridge our disciplinary academic fields of study and research, and with this to co-create a bridge from academia into economy and society for the common good, for boundary work and co-creation.
I hope our conversation will continue. I hope our dialogue will stay alive. I hope we will be able to keep the energy building around the concept of creative university. This afternoon, during lunch, I really wished there was some technology that could actually capture all the beautiful things going on in all of the 7 rooms actually, and then show it as one piece on a screen so that we can see a creative university in operation. I hope if we keep the energy level high and continue the discourse, over time we will be able to present to the global university community an alternative method, an alternative approach to university education.